Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United are confident that Brendan Rodgers will be their next manager. Now the Manchester Evening News said recently that Manchester United are ready to trigger Brendan Rodgers' contract clause if Solskjaer gets sacked. Brendan Rodgers is the favourite to replace Solskjaer. Brendan Rodgers has verbally agreed to become Manchester United's new manager, but he did mention that his preference would be to wait until next season. Now, should Brendan Rodgers be Manchester United's next manager? If Brendan Rodgers came in, would he get Manchester United back to that level where they should be at? Would he get the best out of these group of players? Would he suit the strappings of the club? And would Brendan Rodgers be capable of winning trophies? Now, I do presume there is some United fans that want him to come in, but there's also some United fans that don't want him in. Brendan Rodgers is a far superior manager to Solskjaer. You've got to admire what Brendan Rodgers has done with Leicester. So far, he's won the Community Shield and the FA Cup with them. He's been in charge of Leicester for almost 3 years. He's got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Managed quite a lot of clubs, hasn't he? Before Leicester, he managed Celtic. He enjoyed a few years with them and he won quite a few trophies with Celtic. He's managed Liverpool before. Rodgers enjoyed one good season with Liverpool. But Liverpool didn't win anything under Brendan Rodgers. But they did come close to winning the league under Rodgers. Before, Rodgers has managed Swansea. He did very well there. Managed Watford a long time ago. He managed Reading. And at one point he managed Chelsea's youth. Now there's a lot of other managers on Manchester United's agenda. There has been a lot of talks about Ralph Rangnick coming in as the interim manager until the end of the season. Fabrizio Romano recently gave us an update on Ralph Rangnick. He said Manchester United turned down Ralph Rangnick. There is some United fans that would like to see Ralph Rangnick become our director of football. Zinedine Zidane has also been mentioned, but I've totally disregarded Zinedine Zidane now because Zidane is not interested in the Manchester United job. Even though the other week Manchester United held talks with Zinedine Zidane, and reports from Spain did say that Zidane rejected the Newcastle job as he's waiting for the Man United or France job. But at the moment, Zidane is enjoying life away from football management. I think there's quite a lot of United fans that would like to see Erik ten Hag come in. You've got to admire what he's done at Ajax. He's won a few trophies with them. He's been at Ajax for 4 years. But apparently, Erik ten Hag is reluctant to leave Ajax. And Mauricio Pochettino is still being spoken about. Pochettino is PSG's manager. We tried to get Pochettino when he was managerless. Pochettino at that point held talks with the club. He's a good manager, Pochettino, even though he's hardly won anything. He did really, really well at Tottenham, and I thought Tottenham made a big mistake sacking him. So there you go. Solskjaer, he's under pressure following back-to-back home defeats to Manchester City and Liverpool. Manchester United have only won one of their last 6 Premier League games. Manchester United are currently sitting 6th in the Premier League at the moment. It did say earlier on this week, like I updated you, that Solskjaer is waiting to be sacked after leaving Manchester. Because on Monday, Solskjaer flew back home to Norway with his family. As things stand at the moment, Solskjaer's job is safe. Solskjaer expects to remain Manchester United manager after this international break, so obviously he will be in charge for the game against Watford. But defeat to Watford surely will end Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial tenure at Man United. A couple of days ago now, Fabrizio Romano gave us an update on Solskjaer's situation. Romano did say that the Man United board have held no talks with other managers and still support Solskjaer. Solskjaer is losing the players and he's also losing the fans' support. I hope we don't have to stick with Solskjaer until the end of the season. Manchester United should have sacked Solskjaer after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. If we'd have sacked him after that game, I can assure Manchester United would have got Antonio Conte. He did say though after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool that Solskjaer had been given 3 games to save his job. And Manchester United only won one of them 3 games. Obviously beat Tottenham 3-0, drew 2-2 against Atalanta. Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in that game. If it weren't for Ronaldo, we would have lost against Atalanta. And we lost to Manchester City 2-0 last weekend. And it was a very, very poor performance against Man City. City were dominant from start to finish. Solskjaer did say after the game against City that Man United were outclassed by Man City, and he said the Man City defeat was a big step backwards. If Solskjaer really cared about the club, he would resign, revert back to what I've said on my recent videos. But Solskjaer's not going to resign. Because obviously he doesn't get paid anything if he resigns, and Solskjaer refused to resign after the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Manchester United have to pay Solskjaer $7.5 million if they decide to sack him. In the summer, Solskjaer signed a new 3-year contract with the club. There's an option of a further year. Manchester United made a mistake giving Solskjaer that contract. And a lot of United fans will agree with me on that aspect. Solskjaer's been given long enough at Manchester United. He's been Manchester United manager for almost 3 years. And this season is Solskjaer's 3rd full season as Man United manager. But I just think that the expectations are far too high for Solskjaer to exceed as Man United manager. And I do think Solskjaer is in a position that he shouldn't be in. Yes, of course, we all wanted Solskjaer to succeed as Manchester United manager, but he's not going to. We all adore Solskjaer, reflecting on what he's done for the club. At the end of the day, Solskjaer is a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. Ollie had a proven pedigree when he was a player for Man United because he won a lot of trophies as a player. But unfortunately, he hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager, and that is definitely a concern. But reflecting on Manchester United's poor performances, not all of the blame stems from Solskjaer. Yes, he's accountable for some things. Obviously Solskjaer's tactics and team selections have been questioned. But there's also players that have to take responsibility for those poor performances. At this moment in time, the club from top to bottom is in a predicament. And the way out of this predicament is a change of manager, and we also need structural changes at the club. Solskjaer ran out of excuses a while ago. Manchester United should be doing much better than they are, because Man United have got a very good squad. Solskjaer received very good backing from the board in the summer transfer window, and the board still continue to back him. Manchester United enjoyed a very good summer transfer window this year as well. Made 4 signings, spent around £141 million. Ollie's enjoyed like 5 transfer windows now as permanent Manchester United manager. Man United have spent over £400 million under the Solskjaer era. So there you go. Solskjaer got appointed in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Manchester United manager since March 2019. The reason he got the job on a permanent basis was reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. But Solskjaer knew when he'd taken over at Man United it was going to be a massive job. Not only a massive job, a difficult job as well, despite him knowing the club through thick and thin. Ollie's managing one of the biggest clubs in the world. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson, because Manchester United have sacked 3 managers since Ferguson. Sacked David Moyes, sacked Louis van Gaal, and we also sacked Jose Mourinho. Now, Manchester United are going to offload players next year. I think Martial is going next year. I think Cavani's going next year. I don't want Cavani to leave though, with the impact he's made since he's come in. I think Juan Mata is leaving next year. I think Lingard's leaving next year. I think Van der Beek's leaving next year because Van der Beek is not getting enough game time at Man United. I think Matic could leave next year. I think Tellez is leaving next year. I think Jones and Bailly leaving next year. I think Dalot's leaving next year. And I think Dean Henderson wants to go out on loan, because obviously Dean Henderson doesn't get his opportunities now because De Gea reclaimed that number 1 spot back. And Pogba could be going next year. Now, I recently give you the news on Paul Pogba. Reports from France said recently that Pogba wants to renew his contract with Manchester United, but reportedly on one condition: that he's made the Premier League's highest paid player. So he wants to overtake Cristiano Ronaldo as the highest earner. At the moment, Pogba receives around £290,000 a week on his current contract, and Pogba's current contract at Man United expires next summer. Before the start of this season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. It did say Man United are prepared to sell Pogba in the January transfer window. Well, it'd be better to offload him in January. At least we'd be able to cash in for him. It's better than letting him go on a free next summer. It said Paul Pogba may never play for Manchester United again. Pogba is out for at least 2 months because on Monday Pogba suffered a thigh injury in France training. Even if Paul Pogba was fit, he wouldn't have been able to play against Watford after this break anyway because he's suspended. Pogba though has only got 1 game to serve at the 3-match ban he's got. Pogba did get sent off for a 2-footed challenge on Naby Keita in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. Pogba did play in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta the other week though, and I thought he put a very poor performance out, and reflecting on his poor performance in that game, Pogba got heavily criticised. Pogba though did enjoy a good start to the Premier League season so far. Pogba's got 7 assists. He produced good performances for Man United in the last couple of months of last season, but at one point last season he was out with a thigh injury for a while, and he sustained some ankle injuries as well at Man United. But Pogba is a good player, and he's not only a good player, he's an imperative player. I want him to stay. He's had a long-running transfer saga. Pogba's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him as well. It said earlier on this season that he got offered to Barcelona, and Inter Milan have been in for him before. This season is Pogba's 6th season at Man United since he rejoined. He's won 3 trophies at the club so far, and he's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. We had him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era, but had to let him go due to limited appearances. So yeah, Manchester United have got some very, very good players. But the reason we're not getting the best out of a lot of the players is because Manchester United are not playing as a team. Revert back to what I've said on my recent videos. Manchester United are a team of individuals, like a lot of pundits have spoken about. You've got the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea that all play as a team, and that explains why they're in a much better position than Manchester United at this moment in time. If Manchester United played as a team, would be up there competing with the likes of City, Liverpool and Chelsea and all of that. But look who we've got. We've got Marcus Rashford. He's a good player. I think Rashford has done well in a few games since he's come back, but I think he's also had some poor games as well. Most of the time now, Rashford plays on the left wing. We need to keep him on the left wing because that's where he's mostly effective. He's far superior on the left wing to the right wing and up top. Rashford, though, was out with a shoulder injury for a while at one point, and he had to have an operation on his shoulder, don't forget. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016, and he's got a contract with Man United until 2023. You've got Edison Cavani, you know, he's another good player Manchester United have got. You know, his hold-up play is good, his movement in and around the box is good, he creates very good chances and he scores very good goals. Cavani's actually out with injury now until December. He was out with injury earlier on this season. Like I said earlier, I think Cavani's leaving next year. Cavani's got under a year left on his contract. It was back in May Cavani signed that 1-year contract extension. This season is Cavani's second full season at Man United. Man United did get him on a free transfer. Cavani, though, has got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at PSG. And he was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG. You've got Mason Greenwood, that's also a talented player. Still young, got a lot of development in him. I can assure Greenwood's got a long-term future at Man United. A lot of the time Greenwood does play on the right wing. That's where you get the best out of Greenwood. He actually played up top alongside Ronaldo in the 2-0 defeat to City. But the Greenwood and Ronaldo partnership doesn't work. Greenwood has scored, 4 goals in the league so far this season. At one point though, Greenwood did go wow without scoring. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019, didn't he? Last season he signed a new 4-year contract, and Greenwood's been part of the club for a long time. He's been a United player since the age of 7. You've got Jadon Sancho, that's a good player overall, but I think Sancho's been very poor for Manchester United so far. And reflecting on that, fans have been getting on his back. But I think Solskjaer's been to blame for Sancho's poor performances. Because when Solskjaer decides to play Sancho, he persistently plays him out of position. I said Sancho will do well at Man United, providing that he's used correctly. It does take some players time to settle in. You know, there again though, there's quite a few games that Sancho doesn't even play in, so reflecting on that, does he have a future at Man United? Sancho enjoyed 4 good years with Borussia Dortmund, but I was hoping at Man United he could replicate what he did at Dortmund, but so far he's not replicated what he did at Dortmund. Did come on against City last weekend though, to be fair, and he made an impact. Man United got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. He's got a contract with Man United till June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Obviously we've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo's done well since he's re-signed. You know, he's got 9 goals in all competitions so far. But Ronaldo is becoming infuriated with Manchester United. Also mocked Solskjaer's tactics in the 5-0 defeat to Liverpool. But we are relying on Ronaldo far too much. Like I said, Ronaldo saved Solskjaer in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta because Ronaldo netted twice in stoppage time at the end of both halves. Ronaldo scored the winner in the reverse fixture against Atalanta at Old Trafford. He scored the winner against Villarreal earlier on this season. So there you go. And he scored a very good volley in the 3-0 win against Tottenham. He got an assist in that game as well. That was his first assist since he re-signed for the club. And he also had a disallowed goal against Tottenham. Recently, Ronaldo got named Player of the Month for October. So now he's got back-to-back awards because Ronaldo got named Premier League Player of the Month back in September. Ronaldo has won 32 major trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. if things carry on the way they are at Manchester United, though, I don't think Ronaldo will see out his contract. Ronaldo's got a contract to Man United till 2023. There's an option of a further year. Ronaldo receives £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. And Ronaldo does wear the number 7 shirt, and we got Ronaldo for 19.8 million, with add-ons included. You know, you've obviously got Bruno Fernandes. That's an exceptional player. He's one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. Bruno Fernandes starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games, doesn't he? He has been consistent in a lot of games for Man United, but on the other side of things, there's been quite a few games where he's looked off the pace. I thought Fernandes was very poor against Man City last weekend. You know, looked very sloppy, looked lost for ideas, and he gave the ball away a lot of times. Bruno Fernandes has been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years. We got him from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. Last season he won Player of the Year, and he's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. Earlier on this season, Fernandes did make it clear that he wants to stay at Man United. When Fernandes first came to Manchester United, he said, "I've come to Manchester to win trophies." Earlier on this season, there was talks about Bruno Fernandes getting a new contract. Well, at the moment, Fernandes has got a contract to Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further 12 months. And you've also got Pogba, that's good as well, like I mentioned earlier. You know, you've got Van der Beek, that's a good player, but I haven't had much of a perception on Donny Van der Beek at Man United because he hasn't been given enough game time. And I've said to you before, Solskjaer should be starting Van der Beek, especially in the Premier League. But yeah, like I said earlier, I think Van der Beek's leaving in January. Well, prior to the Liverpool game, Solskjaer did make an admission regarding Van der Beek, saying that he's frustrated and disappointed over his situation at Old Trafford. And earlier on this season, it said Van der Beek was furious with Solskjaer. Van der Beek did come on in the game against City last week and made an impact. He also came on in the 2-2 draw against Atalanta and made an impact. And you know, we've got Luke Shaw, good player. But Luke Shaw certainly has not proven how good he can be so far this season, because I think Luke Shaw's been very, very poor this season. Where's the Luke Shaw from last season? Because last season, Luke Shaw was absolutely superb. He was far superior last season to how he has been so far this season. The best game I recall Luke Shaw having so far this season was the 3-0 win against Tottenham, even though he got booked in that game. Shaw was very poor against City last weekend. He was the main culprit for Man City's second goal by Silva. Shaw came off injured in the game against Man City. He had to be replaced by Tellez. You know, we've got Wan-Bissaka, that's a good right back as well. The defensive side of his game is superb, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. And there is aspects of his game that I've got to improve. He has got to show more attacking intent. He's got to improve his crossing a bit more. His positioning's also got to improve. But despite that, I still think he's one of the best right backs we've had since Gary Neville. And you've got Varane, that's a very good centre half as well. You've got Bailly, that's a good centre half. You've got Maguire, that's a good centre half when he wants to be, but Maguire's been very, very poor so far this season. He's been even worse since he come back from that calf injury. And you've also got David De Gea, that's a very, very good goalkeeper. I've got to give him credit because I think De Gea has done really, really well so far this season. And Henderson's a good keeper as well. So there you go. There's quite a few players though that don't even get in Manchester United's team. You know, you've got Tellez, that doesn't really get in the team. You know, Tellez will only play when Luke Shaw's not available. Yes, Tellez is a good left back and he's done well in some of the games he has played in for Man United. But he will go next year. Earlier on this season, Tellez was out with injury. The reason we brought Tellez in was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Man United got Tellez for 15.4 million. You know, you've got Bailly that doesn't really get in the team. Two reasons is because of the signing of Varane in the summer transfer window. And for some reason, Solskjaer seems to prefer Lindelof ahead of Eric Bailly. So I think Bailly's going next year, like I've already said. Jones, he's another one that doesn't get in the team. You know, Dalot doesn't really get in the team. Dalot will only play when Wan-Bissaka's not available. Dalot is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. Lingard, he's another one. He doesn't really get in the team. Martial, he doesn't really get in the team either. Juan Mata, he's another one that doesn't really get in the team. Amad Diallo, he doesn't really get in the team. He's made a few first team appearances, and I did say at that point that Amad Diallo did look a good asset for the first team squad. I thought he'd have played a lot more than he has done in the first team, because at the end of the day, Man United got Amad Diallo for £37 million with add-ons included. Tom Heaton, you know, he's another one that doesn't get in there. Obviously, we brought Tom Heaton in as a backup. Got him on a free from Aston Villa. Tom Heaton, though, did very, very well in pre-season before the start of the Premier League season. So anyway, guys, there'll be more videos coming up later. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.